What is up, guys, and welcome to another video. Today, not Yu-Gi-Oh! So, we're going to be talking about and learning how to play Tic-Tac-KO, and this is from Unstable Unicorns. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see that. There you go. So, yeah, also, new camera height. I finally got a decent camera mount, so you guys can see this border now, which okay. And we're gonna learn how to play Tic-Tac-KO and everything. So first, I want to show you guys the grid. Pretty basic, right? Looks like Tic-Tac-Toe, but with extra steps. And I don't really like the flimsy paper, so I'm actually working on doing a custom mat for the game itself, just for me, if you guys are not following my Twitter, I will be posting a picture of when that is fully done and printed. So yeah, and then the rules. Of course, I'm making this video so you guys don't have to read the rules, but I do, which kind of sucks. And of course, there's going to be some terminology for this game that you might need to know. So, onto the terminology. Important terms: adjacent, draw, discard, destroy, displace, swap, sacrifice. There you go. I'm joking. All right, so adjacent. Only grid spaces that are next to each other in any cardinal up, down, left, right direction count as adjustment. Diagonally touching spaces are not considered adjacent. Draw, obvious. Discard, obvious. Destroy, move a card on the grid that belongs on the opposing team to the team's discard pile. Kind of obvious, but I wanted to, Anyways, displace. Move a card to an open space on the grid. Swap. Switch the position of two cards on the grid. Sacrifice. Understandable. All right. Sounds easy enough, right? All right. So, what I recommend everybody do, and this is just me because this is actually what I did because it's what I do. Sleeve your cards, even if it's something as simple as just a card game for the family. You're gonna have greasy hands, especially when you're doing parties. You're gonna have snacks everywhere. Sleeves are just gonna keep the cards in really nice condition. So you have your objective cards, which you can't really see, but there you go. Oh, no, you cannot see that. There you go. Objectives. And my light is really bright today. All right. And then, of course, we have two separate teams. So this is going to be a 2 to 4 player game. Oh my god, come on, get out. There we go. Your first teams are dragons, while your second teams are unicorns. Two simple teams, but this is just tic-tac-toe, right? X's, O's. What's the big deal? Well, I'm about to show you. And I'm going to need the rules again, so that way I can actually explain it to you guys properly. But overall, it's a simple game. But because it is a 2 to 4 player game, there are separate, slightly altered rules for 2, 3, and 4 players. 4 players is going to be the main rules, which I will start with. So, well, I'm not going to start right now because I'm I gotta set it up. Hold on. All right. We are set up. Again, I don't really like the paper because it's just gonna bend like that. But for the purposes of this video, we're just gonna deal with it. Actually, I can get rid of it, but let y'all see visually what's gonna be going on. So to start, and this is gonna be for 4 players, you're gonna shuffle your decks, which I've already been playing with these, so they're kind of shuffled, but not gonna worry about that. And you're gonna shuffle your objective deck. So just give them a nice little shuffle. And you would do the same for these two. And for each player gets 5 cards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hey, look at that. All right. So you got your 4 people. And I kind of have a limited amount of space, so we're just going to use the board. And actually, to make things really easy, we're going to go with the standard rules, which is not going to be using this other grid, which we will get to later. Then, I do believe each team... Is it each team? I do believe it is each team. It is each team. So each team would get 1 objective card. Objective cards look like this. Ooh, like that. And your team is the only one that should be able to see this. Don't let your other team see it. But what your objective is to place cards in the green spots. And then you would look at your hand, and you have regular monsters, instant cards, which we'll get to these in a moment, and magic cards. Again, get to in a moment. So everybody would look at their hand, determine how they're going to use their first turn, and the way they put it, which is kind of funny. I'm going to have to try and find it. I found it. The team who chose their deck second starts the game, and the player on that team who last took out the trash goes first. The opponent sitting across from that player goes second, continue alternating, yada yada. I thought there was something about height and, something like that, but we're just going to disregard that part then. All right. So now the game has begun. We're going to have this team go first. So, Dragon Team, get out of the way. Your objective is non-important right at this very second. So we have our objective. We're going to have this be the first player. So the first thing you're going to do, draw a card. And there you go. Now you're done. I'm joking. You have your magic and your instant spells. So you have 2 phases, your draw phase and your action phase. Your draw phase, you obviously draw a card. Your action phase, you can either do one of 2 moves. You can either play a monster or use magic. And for 4 players, everybody is only allowed to either do one or the other and only do one of either. So you can either play 1 monster or use 1 magic card. Now, it is different when instant cards. Instant cards can be used at any point, and they have a description of what that card actually does, as well as monsters have a description of what their abilities are. So, Maro, I think, is a special unicorn card. Players on the opposite team cannot place basic character cards adjacent to this card. Now we're using the terminology adjacent. So if I place this on 5, it cannot be placed. A basic card cannot be placed here, 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 or here. Now let's see if I can find. Aha. So say it's player 2's turn now, which technically it is because we have just played a card and we cannot do anything else. So we're going to have this be our second player. And then this is their objective, which is stupid easy, but we're not following objectives quite yet. So this is a basic dragon card, which is where there are also basic unicorn cards. So I am not able to place this on 6, 4, 2, or 8. I can place on 1, 3, 9, or 7, and that's fine. So we're going to go ahead and draw. And you'll notice you'll get an assortment of cards, special dragons, basic dragons, magic, and instant on both deck types. Well, one being dragon, one being unicorn. So let us see here. Instant cards are pretty good to use when your opponent's doing something. So we are going to... So this card is when this card enters the grid, you may swap this card with an adjacent character card. Now, we're gonna be a little helpful. We're gonna place it here, and this is an optional effect. You can or cannot. You can use it, but you don't have to. So we're actually going to use the effect and swap these two. So I'm saying we're being nice because I actually needed to be here. So now it is player 3's turn. They draw. And all right. We're actually going to, instead of placing a unicorn, we're actually going to use a magic card. And we're going to displace this one to somewhere on the grid. Now, either of the dragon team players can actually use an instant card at this point in time if they have a card that will allow them to do something, which it does not seem we have anything, because these instant cards only affect when the card is destroyed. So can't do anything. It is just being displaced. So, and then you're going to send that card to the discard pile. Pretty basic, right? All right. And you just go back and forth between players until someone wins. In order to win, you must complete 3 objectives. This is for all versions, 4-3-2 player, standard, and advanced. In order to win, you must complete 3 objectives. Once you complete an objective, you can draw a new one, so on and so forth. Now, that was 4-player. What if you only have 3 players? In my house, we only have 3 people that actually are within this family that live in the house, so it kind of does not work with a 4-player ruling. So with 3 players, it is going to be a little different, not a whole lot different. So whenever you start your game with 3 players, 2 people will be one team, 1 person will be the other team. And we're just going to set the objective cards to the side so that way they're not in my way. And we're just going to use the same objectives. All right. Make this quite a lot easier. So shuffle, 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 shuffle. And this is another reason why you want a sleeves, because it makes it so much easier to shuffle. And I will leave a link down in the description so that way you guys can actually order the game yourself. I'll probably leave 2 different locations where you can order it. But you can order it from Unstable Unicorns themselves from their website. That's what I did. So I actually pre-ordered this game and I got a pre-order bonus. I'll show you guys at the end of the video what that was. So you have 3 players. We'll have Dragon be the 2-player team. 2, 3, 4, 5. Each player on the Dragon team will get 5 cards, while the solo team, which will be the Unicorn, will get 7 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that was pretty good drawing. All right, so the whole mechanic will stay the same for the most part. 1 magic or character card per turn. However, the turn cycle is gonna be a little different. So we're gonna actually represent here. So it would be like a 4-player where it'd be blue, red, but with 3 players, it'll be player 1, player 2, player 3, player 1. No, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2. The solo player gets 2 turns per full round. There, easy. So not gonna have to discuss how the game works at this point because it's pretty self-explanatory. Place a card. You can only use 1 card. All right, 2-player. 2-player is actually a slight difference. Each player will get 6 cards. So 1 person chooses 1 team, another person chooses another team, and 3, 4, 6. Each person gets 6 cards. So 5 cards for all on a 4-player, 5 for the 2, 1 and 5 for the 3 people. You get 5 and 7, and then for the 2 players, 6, 6 evens out. They did pretty good job at keeping things pretty even, pretty balanced, I guess. So now we have the 2-player. So the real difference between the 2-player and all the other player versions is the amount of magic cards you can use. So you can still only play 1 character card, but you can play 2 magic cards. It's either 1 or 2. Can't switch off. Like, I want to do 1 magic card and 1 character card. Doesn't work that way. So you can either do character or magic. Simple. All right. So standard form, pretty easy. You just have to try and complete your objective, and it shows where you're supposed to go. Now, advanced. This is where this part of the grid comes into play. So I'm actually going to set up. Okay. So, wait. And we're going to do that. All right. So, actually, no, we're going to go right here. All right. So we have a field that has been set up for 1 person to win the objective, kinda. So I kind of blocked off both teams from winning. That's when you would use spells or effects to shuffle around, destroy, and whatnot. So there we go. Special Unicorn. When this card enters the grid, you may discard any number of cards, then draw the same number of cards. That is not what I'm looking for. I need a really good one. Okay, so This one has an interesting effect that this card cannot be swapped. So this is where terminology really comes into play, because what is it? Shifted? I think it's shift. No, I don't think it's shift. I need my terminologies. Displace. So it is affected by being displaced, but it cannot be swapped. All right, so I need players on the opposite team cannot. Okay, so that was just another one where it limits what can be placed next to it. Here we go. When this card is on the grid, enters the grid, you may destroy any character card on the grid. Dang, speaking. So I could theoretically do this and destroy this one. However, that also means that it'll be their turn and they could just place it back. But then, let's see. Okay, so they could try to play a card, but you can use an instant card to stop it. Some cards allow you to stop a card from being played, such as this one. Play this card when any other player tries to play a card. Stop that player's card from being played and send it to the discard pile. So I can play that, but that also gives the unicorns a chance to play instant cards as well. Instant cards, again, can be played at any time. So, I have to destroy a card. It's not really destroying because it doesn't specify destroying. So we're going to let it go through. They lose their card. This card goes to the discard pile. And now that is open. They already played their one character, so they cannot play another. So it's now your turn. You play here. You won that objective. All of these now go to the discard pile, which clears up this whole space. You gain this, and then a new objective is replaced. So then they can come here. Of course, you still have a spot. So it's all about, it's basically tic-tac-toe as you know it, but with a lot more things going on, because you're not just calling out X's or O's. You also have magic instant cards. So it really brings a twist to the game. And again, I do not like this mat, so that is why I am in the process of creating a custom mat for it. And it's not going to be a flimsy paper one. It's actually going to be a actual like mouse pad kind of mat. So yeah, pretty interesting. I don't know how well I explained how the game works. I kind of feel that the game works fairly simple. It's easy to understand. When I first played it, we were just trying to figure it out and didn't take any time at all to figure out how the game works. It was about how the cards themselves work, because a lot of the cards have some interesting wording. So when this card enters the grid, you may displace any adjacent character cards. So there's displays. You also have to remember the terminologies. When this card enters the grid, you may draw a card for each adjacent basic unicorn card. So yeah, there's just a lot of effects, and some of them, like the basic cards, don't have an effect. They just say that they're the basic unicorn cards or basic dragon cards. But then you got the special unicorn or dragon cards. This card cannot be destroyed. Doesn't mean it cannot be displaced or swapped. So there's a good amount of strategy that goes with this game. So it is a very interesting one. I thoroughly enjoyed it whenever I played it. and I tried to play it more often, but time and work get in that way. So yeah, and the artwork is just super cute. So we're heading to the end of this video. So the pre-order bonus that I got was actually this card, Angel. When this card enters the grid, each player on the opposing team must discard a card. Pretty nice. It doesn't like make the deck unbalanced or anything, or make the game unbalanced. It just adds a special one to unicorns. I didn't get anything for dragons because it was, I guess they had a favoritism towards unicorns being unstable unicorns. So yeah. Don't forget to follow my Twitter if you guys want to see whenever the playmat that I am working on is completed, printed, and shipped to me. So, and if you guys want this game for yourself to try it out, it is in some stores, but you can also just buy it online. I'll throw a couple of links in the description. So thank you guys so much for watching. This was a very different video for me. Haven't done something like this in probably ever, honestly. And I enjoyed it. And I hope you guys like this new, like, how much you guys can see. Because normally, you guys can normally only see about this much. So where my camera is at is a lot higher. So you guys not only get to see this mat, but you also get to see my main mat that I keep on this desk at all times. So hey, we'll see how well this works out, and if I have to like crop it or zoom it in, we'll see. But again, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like, and I will see you guys in the next video, whatever that's gonna be. Bye.